everyone. I said I was gonna do it, and here it is. So, I don't know why. Afterwards, I'll probably make a proper cup of coffee for myself. I just thought it would be funny to kind of demonstrate at least my understanding, following a guide of what people do for cupping. Now, the general thing cupping does is allow someone that is roasting coffee, somebody that specializes in such things. They can taste notes, they can taste this, they can taste that, and in its purest form, you know, this is the way that they ascertain notes. This is the way they can say, this is a great coffee, I want this produced. This is a terrible coffee, I don't want this produced, that kind of a thing. So this is a professional kind of thing. Before we get started though, I do want to bring up this. I thought this was hilarious. Coffee cupping, or coffee tasting, is the practice of observing the tastes and aromas of brewed coffee. It is a professional practice, but can be done informally by anyone. Thank goodness I am, in fact, anyone. So, this is the Fellow Products step-by-step guide. Fellow's got some really great but fairly high-end products for coffees and whatnot. So I do not have tasting spoons. I only have regular metal spoons. So that should be, if you're ticking off marks for the things I don't have, we can start there and work our way down. Supplies needed: 20 grams of each coffee, which I think we have plenty of. A grinder, yes. A scale, a timer, which is in the scale, the cupping bowls, hello. These do take up to 200 milliliters of water, so it's between 160 and 200 milliliters, and we'll do each individually. Rinse cups filled with hot water. Rinse cup. I bet that's for the spoons. I'll run the spoons under the tap. I think that'll be fine. Cupping spoons. Hot water element. Well, I've got, see, the Corvo EKG or the Clyde is a Fellow product. I've got a stove. It'll be boiling up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. A vessel to collect used coffee grounds. I'm going to use my Chemex. It's got a paper filter in there. And a mug or glass to hold cupping spoons. Maybe I'll do that. Do I have a mug? Well, yes I do. I do have a mug. I'm glad that they specify a mug or glass to hold the cupping spoons, because it's like, you don't want that lying on the floor. That's uncouth. All right, we're gonna grind out. So I'm gonna take, and we're gonna do about 20 grams of each coffee. So I've got this. I probably should have something to put each one in, shouldn't I? I guess in this case, the Chahi doesn't really afford me much, since each one is gonna need its own separate container to hold it in until I at least can get it in here. Indy's like, why is the step stool there? I had used it to get these coffee cups out of the top of the thing. You can climb it if you want. He used to love to climb it and get up to the top and sit there and meow at you. He doesn't really do it as much anymore. I think it's harder and harder for him to get up on there. All right, so 20 grams of each coffee. These bowls should all weigh the same. Yeah. Really? 0? That one's off by 5.4 grams. That's fantastic. Okay, anyway, we'll get there. All right, so first we're going to do, I got the Guatamalan out of the cupboard. I've put all 3 of these, because this one was in the freezer, so I put the other 2 in the freezer as well, just so everybody can get a fair shake. I mean, it's not like I'm evaluating or rating these coffees. I'm just seeing if I can get anything different out of them through this preparation method. And it's just for funsies anyway. Let's see. I wanted 20 grams of each coffee. Okay, that's a little too much. I guess the problem with these is that it really doesn't come out very easy. I am going to have to steal 2 grams out of each one. That'll do. All right. I will have to steal 2 grams out of each one. There's a thing called prime. So we're priming the grinder with about 2 grams of each coffee in order to make sure each coffee gets its own taste rather than, you know, it being one kind of contaminating the other. I mean, in this case, we're not really... Whoa, that is way too much. I love the Cafe Graciela. And this hole is way too small to accommodate this happening. See? Ugh. 19. All right, so this was 19. The other one was 19. I think we're going to be okay. So yeah, we got to pull 2 grams out of each one in order. Okay, so that's the Cafe Graciela. That's the Guatamalan. And this will be coffee families, the Colombian coffee from Colombia. I'll zero that out. We can even kind of look at the beans difference here, can't we? A little bit. 19.5, that's good. So got an all around. So yeah, take a look at this. So here's around 19.5 grams each of each one. This is a little darker. These two are lighter. These seem to have larger beans, but yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? How coffees are different. And different people have different roasting methods, and different people have different medium roast tolerances. So it's kind of neat. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grind I cleaned this out yesterday. I gave it a thorough vacuum and blow. And so everything should be clean and nice and ready to go. I took everything out, took the middle burr out, cleaned around that, got up in there with the Christmas tree brush and brushed everything out, all the coffees out of it. So we should be giving this a fair shake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, yep, we're up around 200 now. That's good. I'm going to take, what they say, 2 grams. So it's 19.5. I take that many out. 18. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to take this many beans. I'm going to put them in there. And we're going to grind them up. All right. And they said that the grinds should be at a coarse setting. They should look like flaky sea salt. I think that kind of looks like flaky sea salt. I can kind of tune it in just a little bit more. Maybe we'll go down to a 20. So I'll take the rest of the coffee families. We'll put it in there and we'll grind it up. So I think these instructions have a lot to do with evaluating coffee as a buyer. So you've got, what says here is put each coffee sample of 9 grams into designated cupping bowls using 2 cupping bowls per sample. In our case, we're just cupping 3 separate coffees. So I think we can put the coffee grounds into separate one individual bowl, and I think it should be fine. But I am going to do the 9 grams into the designated bowl here. Okay. All right, we'll put the rest of that in there. That is coffee family. Put that back there. All right. One is done. Perfect. Then we'll rinse this out. When you're doing things by yourself, you don't have anybody to help you prep, or there's really no second takes. You're kind of in it. Okay, so 19.1 grams. Let's take out a gram and some change, and then we'll run this through. Now I will take this now, and we'll put it in here, because that will include any grinds from family coffee. So we will take the rest of this as it is. We will put it in here. And there's a little water in there, so that should help with any kind of static that might come. And we'll go. Okay. Zero that out. Zero that out, please. Thank you. We'll put in 9 grams of coffee here. 9. Okay. Cafe Graciela. And then we will okay. Let's take 2 grams out of this. Put it in here. Alrighty. Very involved, all this, isn't it? 4, 7, 9.5. All right. Yep, there we go. And the rest will go back in there. Thank you, grinder, for your service. Oh, no, I meant to put it in here, didn't I? Oh, it's all right. That's okay. We're fine. All right, so 9 grams of coffee in the designated cupping bowls. Heat my water up. That's all done. Start the timer and begin pouring 150 grams of water into each bowl. Okay, let's get our water. 150 grams of water. Oh, yeah, let's do it this way then. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll start a timer here. And we will pour in 150. Okay, 151. Okay. And then you. 30 seconds. All right, well, that's good. So if I can get everything started at 30 seconds, we should be able to time this out fairly well. It's a little more, but that's okay. 50. Okay. And darker that is. Isn't that interesting? 150 again. $150. Splash. There we go. Nice. Cool. Assess the wet aroma. All right. Okay, it's a nice, beautiful smelling medium. Very different. Definitely tasty medium smell. A lot darker, kind of. This one's the darkest looking. This one smells a bit more rich. This one's fruity. This one's fruitier. This one's got more like, yeah, I can smell the citric hits in this one. So it's supposed to be more cocoa and caramel. This one is supposed to be honey, orange. And then this one, there's no tasting notes, but I know that it does taste very fruity, almost like strawberry. So we're supposed to go until about 4 minutes. At 4 minutes, we begin breaking the crust. To do this, we use a spoon to push the coffee grounds to the back of the bowl. Be sure to rinse the spoon after each breaking of the crust. And then using 2 spoons, remove the remaining coffee grounds and foam and dump into the spent coffee grounds bowl. So this is basically our coffee grounds bowl. Allow the coffee to cool. And we probably won't sit here for 15 minutes, but I mean, I will. You won't have to. But we'll pick up after that. But we'll break our crust first. It says about 4 minutes, so I'll break the crust on this one at 4 minutes. I'll break the crust in this one at 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and then this one at 5 minutes. It is very interesting to smell them in this way. Yeah, it's a lot more fruity, acidic smelling. Yeah, this one's also very, has a little citric in it. This one, much more deep, robust. I almost get like a vanilla smell out of that one as well. Look at the color differences too. I mean, same amount of water, same grind level, same weight of grinds that are put in there. I mean, the color difference is very interesting. Okay, 4 minutes. Let's do our little crust break for this one. There you go, kind of push it off to the side. And then some of them will sink to the bottom. Others will stay on the top. And those are kind of the ones you wanna. Yeah, you can see on the last one over here, there's definitely a crust that forms. It wasn't as prominent on these ones. But on this last one, you can definitely kind of see how there's floaties at the top, and this basically breaks them up and sends the ones willing down to the bottom. So what we will do now that that's been done, I'm going to bring this one over here, nice and gently, and then we're going to take our 2 spoons, and we're going to take the coffee grounds that have floated to the top, and the foam, and we're going to take that off as best as I can. I'm sure that there are better ways to do this kind of a thing, but I'm not a professional. See how many grounds are at the top? That's something. Gonna get them off the top so that when we go to slurp, we don't get any coffee grounds in our slurp. We just get brewed coffee. And we're not going to drink it out of the cup. We're going to use a spoon to take it off the top, which is why we're taking the stuff off the top that are solid and foamy. And then we'll wait for that timer to go. I'm not going to sit here and waffle on for a large amount of time like I normally do. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I know that there's still quite a few solids sitting at the top, but I think for our purposes, plus I don't really know how to do stuff with 2 spoons, so Cafe Graciela, bring you over here. I mean, you're basically you're chasing coffee solids and foam. They're not supposed to be perfect. They're just supposed to be. This one will probably have the most solids on top of it because the sheer size of the crust that it... And I'm not going deep into the coffee, I'm just skimming the top of it to try to best get rid of all of the solids in the foam in order to try to make the cup of coffee, or the spoonful of coffee that I get, to be its purest without getting too many grounds. And you're going to get grounds. You just are. I'm sure that there are people out there that can de-solidify a cup of coffee in seconds, and you'll never see a coffee ground on the top of the coffee. I am not that. I'm barely this. So we're waiting for these to cool, basically. All right, just so many solids keep popping up. And you can't chase them. You can't sit there and chase them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let these sit. I'm going to let them cool for about another, 5 minutes? And then we'll come right back. Okay, here we are. We're back. It's been 15 minutes, at least for this one anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly what the instructions say. So what you do is you take your coffee spoon, You take the top here, and like I said, you are going to see some grounds probably, not too many. And then what you do, and I'll turn down the audio for this because I know it's not the greatest for everyone, is I'm going to slurp this, and I'm going to tell you what I taste. Some of these do have tasting notes, but a lot of that stuff is down to what the person drinking the coffee tastes. So they may say this has a little bit of vanilla and caramel in it, and you may be like, I don't really taste that. And that's not a fault. That's not a problem. It's just different. You know, you taste things differently. Everybody tastes things differently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to take a little spoonful, and then I'm going to slurp it. And it tastes very creamy to me. It's got a really beautiful finish. There's still that wonderful fruit kind of taste, almost like strawberries. It's such a delicious kind of creamy coffee, this family coffee from Colombia. It's absolutely fantastic, and I really, really enjoy it, and I should have gotten myself a cup of water, shouldn't I? We wash the spoon out to stop cross-contamination, so we should wash our mouth out a little bit to do the exact same thing. I don't know if I said it right. All right. Cafe Graciela. Let's see what I taste in this. And again, this is just me seeing what things taste like. I'm not grading them. I'm not rating them. I'm not reviewing them. I already love these coffees and I drink them every day. So I'm just seeing what I taste and just demonstrating a cupping, really. Now that is a lot lighter of a medium roast. It's really nice. It's not as creamy. There are notes of caramel in it. You really kind of miss the citric though. But overall, I mean, it's a delicious tasting coffee, but it's a lot lighter. It's not creamy like that one. It's just got this lighter brewed texture. It's really hard to describe. I mean, there's definitely a caramel flavor to it. Definitely some citric notes in it, but it's not as deep as the coffee families to me. And that's, you know, I'm uneducated. I'm just tasting what I taste. All right, last one. The Guatamalan, the darkest looking of the medium roasts. Certainly the most dirty looking one. That's just because I was chasing coffee grounds to a point. Yes, the finish is very clean, like it says on the box. Definitely some notes of honey. It does have a very sweet taste to it. And it also, you know, a very, very creamy, just like the coffee families. I don't get any orange. I don't really get any citrus at all. Perhaps one where I don't have to chew. You know, and that's just my limited palate, my limited understanding. But again, like I said, this is just to show you what a cupping is. When somebody, if you ever stumble upon any kind of YouTube video and they're talking about what they've done with their coffee and how they came to the point of choosing their coffee, you know, sometimes they'll show you short shots of cupping of them taking their coffee and kind of testing it. But there's a method to the madness and a reason behind it. And it kind of gives you a very personal taste of what the coffee is in essence. And a lot of this tasting notes and whatnot, they're very subjective. They're dependent on the type of water they use, where the water came from, the freshness of the coffee at the time, the batch that the coffee came from. It's just a lot of different factors in coffee. But that doesn't, just because you don't taste what they tasted and then put on the side of the bag, that doesn't mean the coffee's bad. It just means it's different and you can still enjoy it. So, and I thoroughly enjoy all three of these coffees. The Island Roasters are great. Cafe Graciela, the next time I see them in the wild, I'll be getting another bag. And then Coffee Families, the brand new one from Colombia. So good. I hope you enjoyed this. I know I screwed some things up. I'm just trying and playing and having fun. And this was definitely fun. It was a fun thing to do. It was a fun thing to try to do step by step. But this was great. I really enjoyed it. It's not my first cupping. It's the first cupping I've ever done myself. I participated in another one, and that was a lot of fun. And it went about as well as this one did. But it was still a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed it. And next week, we'll do some more coffee family. I'll put it in the Clever and see what that tastes like, how different that is maybe from the Chemex. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you next week. Get a cup of coffee. Bye.